You ever go to one of those weddings where it's all so perfect, so expensive, so meticulously arranged that you can't help but think, if anyone here's ever had dirt or their fingernails, or if it's all just spotless silver and tightly pressed smiles. Yeah, well, let me tell you about the night that photo broke wide open when a homeless child crashed the city's most pricey wedding and turned the entire thing on its head, with nothing more than a photo, a letter, and more heart than most people receive in a lifetime, you know what I mean? Let me back up a sec. The ballroom was something out of movie. Crystal chandeliers blazing overhead, soft jazz floating through the air. Everyone in black tuxes or dazzling dresses, every glass of champagne caught in the light just so. At the center stood the bride, shining in her white dress, and her new husband, all smiles and proud posture, their families beaming. This was the richest family in town, the kind that donates wings to hospitals and has their name written all over every charity wall. Most folks were too busy whispering about the guest list or gawking at the caviar to notice the pair of eyes peeping out behind the thick velvet drapes. But that kid noticed everything. No shoes, shirt slung off one shoulder, spindly legs and battered brown pants, skin smudged with dirt from the street. Probably not more than 10 years old, but already appearing as though he'd lived 3 lifetimes. He'd slipped behind the catering truck, avoided grown-ups who pushed him aside, wormed under tables, fixed on as only a starving kid can be. Held in one hand was a faded old photograph. His anchor, his proof, his admission in. He whispered to himself, "She's here, I know it." The boy wasn't there to snatch. Not a scrape was there waiting to find her. The woman who'd rescued him all those years ago when he was only a shadow on the pavement, shivering and inconspicuous to all but her. He held his breath. Battered photograph. 3 years ago, I was homeless, alone, hungry, cold. No one saw me. Nobody cared. His voice breaking as he stood the picture up. A woman in a white gown on her knees in the rain, handing a blanket to a rain-soaked little boy. That woman is Bride. She rescued me. She fed me. She gave me hope. I never forgot her. You could hear the shock ripple through the audience. The bride's hand sprang to her mouth, her eyes wide, and for an instant the room remained frozen. Then memory flitted over her face. You may be able to catch it. Hit her like lightning. Years ago, before any of this, before the money, the wedding ring, seen a boy. Crouched up on the sidewalk in front of the market, shivering bones and skin. She'd muffed him up in her coat, shoved a piece of bread into his hands, whispered, "Don't give up. Life changes. You'll be okay." She'd never told anyone. Now here he was, eyes aglow, saying, "That day I promised I'd see her again. Today I visited to express my gratitude. All around you could hear snuffles, sobs, not the considerate kind, but the child wasn't finished. "There's more," he said, voice shaking but becoming firmer. "The charity that rescued me provided me with a bed to sleep, taught me in reading. That was your family's cornerstone." He spoke of groom your father rescued me from death. You heard jaws fall. The groom's father glared, his working mouth. Wife grasped his arm. Guests wiping at their eyes. The boy's voice broke, uttering, "I never had a mother. I never had hope. That day she gave me both." The groom stepped forward, soft but shaken. "Who are you?" But before the kid could say anything, the bride had slumped to her knees. There on the gleaming floor, her pristine dress abandoned, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I remember you," she whispered. "Oh my God, it's really you." At that moment, the room disintegrated. You could feel the air shift like everyone suddenly remembers why goodness matters, why we're all here in the first place. The boy nodded, wet eyes. "I never forgot." Then, as if prompting the groom's father, materialized, ghostly and moved with a frequency you don't often find in a man who's constructed empires. And the boy looked at him and extended a crumpled letter. "I was here today not to ruin your wedding," he said.